You've done everything right. Every paycheck, before the rent, before the groceries, before you bought a single thing for yourself. You took your 10% off the top and you gave it. Faithfully. For years, maybe a decade, maybe your whole adult life. And you're still broke. The bills still pile up. The account still hits zero before the month does. The breakthrough you were promised, the one that was supposed to come because you gave, never arrived. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a question you feel almost guilty for asking. If giving is supposed to open the windows of heaven, why is it still raining inside my house? I'm going to answer that question, not with a sermon and not with cynicism, with the actual reason, the one that's true, whether you keep tithing or not. And I'll warn you now, the real answer is going to make some people uncomfortable, because part of it is something you were told by people you trusted. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll understand exactly what happened to your money and exactly what to do instead. It starts with clearing up the thing everyone blames first. And it's the wrong thing. Let's kill the obvious answer right away because it's a trap. The obvious answer is, you're broke because you gave away 10% of everything you ever earned. Simple math. Stop giving. Keep the money. Problem solved. Except it isn't true, and pretending it is will send you down the wrong road. 10% does not bankrupt people. Plenty of people who give faithfully build real wealth, and plenty of people who never give a dime to anyone stay just as broke as you are. If giving were the thing keeping you down, then everyone who doesn't give would be rich. And you know that's not how the world works. So take the guilt and take the blame off the offering plate for a second, because the plate is not your problem. The 10% is a symptom people point at because it's visible. The real disease is somewhere else entirely, in the 90% you kept. Here's the uncomfortable truth hiding in plain sight. You can give 0% your entire life and still die broke, if the 90 or the 100% you keep never gets put to work. Giving is not what's keeping you poor. The absence of a wealth-building system is. And the reason you never built one is the real story. Because something convinced you that you already had one. That something has a name. Somewhere along the way, giving got sold to you as an investment. Not as worship, not as gratitude, as a transaction. You give, and God is obligated to pay you back. With interest, multiplied, pressed down, and running over. You plant a seed, and a financial harvest comes. The more you sow, the more you reap. Give until it hurts, and watch the money come back to you bigger than it left. This teaching has a name, the Prosperity Gospel, and its favorite proof text is a single line from the book of Malachi, where God tells the people to bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and test him. And he'll throw open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing too large to contain. Preachers read you that verse and tell you it's a personal money-back guarantee. Give, and the floodgates open. Don't give, and you're robbing God. And a robbed God won't bless you, which conveniently explains why you're still broke. You just didn't give enough. Here's what they don't tell you. That reading is rejected by a huge number of Christians and theologians, not atheists, not skeptics, believers, who will point out that those words were spoken to the entire nation of ancient Israel, under a specific covenant about the community's storehouse, not as a wealth contract for one individual today. The you in the verse is plural. The blessing was meant to be shared by a whole people, not deposited into one person's bank account. And the New Testament's actual instruction on giving says the opposite of pressure and guarantee. Give what you've decided in your heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, because the point is a cheerful giver, not a get-rich scheme. So the call is coming from inside the house. The strongest case against treating tithing as a money machine isn't secular at all. It's biblical. But forget the theology for a second, because here's the part that actually drained your wallet. The seed faith promise didn't just cost you the money you gave. It cost you something far more expensive. It told you that you already had a financial plan. Why learn to budget when your breakthrough is coming? Why pay down debt when God is about to cancel it supernaturally? Why invest? Why build? Why study how money works? When faith was supposed to do all of that for you automatically. You weren't lazy. You weren't foolish. You were told, by people with authority over your spiritual life, that the work was unnecessary, that the seed was the strategy. So you planted and you waited. And while you waited, the actual machinery that builds wealth sat untouched, year after year, because nobody told you it existed. Let me show you that machinery now, because this is the part that changes everything. Wealth is not a miracle. It's a machine, and it runs on 4 parts. None of them are mysterious, and not one of them has anything to do with what you put in the offering plate. Part 1 is the gap, not how much you make, the gap between what comes in and what goes out. A person earning a fortune who spends all of it is broke. A person earning modestly who keeps a slice of every dollar is building. Wealth lives in that gap, and most people never measure it, because measuring it means facing it. You have to know, to the dollar, what comes in and where it goes. That's not glamorous. It's also non-negotiable. The gap is the seed that actually grows. Part 2 is the leak. High-interest debt, credit cards, payday loans, buy now, pay later, is a hole in the bottom of the bucket. While you were giving 10% hoping for a return, a credit card was quietly taking 20, 25, 30% from you in the other direction, guaranteed, every single month. There is no seed you can plant that earns a debt that's bleeding you at that rate. The single fastest return most broke people can get is not an investment. It's killing the highest interest debt they're carrying, because every dollar of that debt you erase is a guaranteed raise. Part 3 is the buffer. The reason you can never get ahead is that every time you almost do, life breaks something. The car, the tooth, the phone, and you slide right back to zero, or below it. A small emergency fund, built before anything else, is what stops the slide. It's not exciting. It's the unglamorous foundation that lets every other part of the machine keep running without collapsing the first time something goes wrong. Part 4 is time. This is the one the prosperity preachers accidentally got almost right. They just pointed it at the wrong thing. Money invested steadily and left alone grows on itself. The return earns a return. A modest amount invested consistently over many years can quietly become more than a large amount given in a panic ever could, because compounding is the closest thing to a financial miracle that actually reliably exists. But it has one ruthless requirement: time in the machine. Every year you spent waiting for a harvest instead of investing was a year that compounding wasn't working for you. That's the real cost, not the 10%. The lost decades of growth on the 90. That's the whole machine, the gap, the leak, the buffer, and time. It is boring, it is unspectacular, and it works for everyone who runs it, the believer and the unbeliever alike, which is exactly how you know it's real. So where does that leave the giving? Here it is, the answer the title promised, stated plainly. You are not broke because you tithed. You are broke because the machine that builds wealth was never built. And a beautiful, comforting promise convinced you that you didn't need to build it. The seed was supposed to be your strategy. It never was. It was always meant to be an act of worship. And worship and wealth building are two completely different machines that were never supposed to be plugged into each other. So separate them and watch what happens. If your faith calls you to give, then give. Give cheerfully. Give freely. Give because gratitude moves you to, and let it be exactly what it was always meant to be, an expression of what you believe, with no invoice attached, no return expected, no breakthrough being purchased. Done that way, giving will never make you broke, and it will never again make you feel cheated, because you stopped expecting it to do a job it was never designed to do. And then, separately, build the machine. Find your gap and protect it. Plug the leak of high-interest debt and feel the guaranteed raise. Stack a small buffer so life can't keep dragging you back to zero. And get money into the one true miracle, time, as early and as consistently as you can, so that compounding finally starts working for you instead of against you. That's it. That's the real answer. Not stop believing. Not giving is a scam. Just this. The offering plate was never your investment account, and the day you stop confusing the two is the day your money finally starts obeying the rules that actually govern it. You did the faithful thing for years. Nobody can take that from you. Now do the informed thing alongside it, because being faithful was never supposed to mean being broke, and the people who told you it was a guaranteed trade had it backwards the whole time. The windows of heaven were never the problem. The machine on the ground was, go build it.